Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV, PENDREAM TV, there, I see them. We had a president in the parliament this morning. Okasa 1 hour 30 minutes plus. In fact, and then will be too much. We are college. Be too much. To say one touch it on sports, and I don't know whether the person is, right or wrong. Then or touch it on various issues about. Dollar issue no so mantese otache dollar issue no say the crowd mo then issues about ashema to untouch but men je mokasa enfrimo so tell me your initial comment.
You come na me that say my mention with you for bio in the area menya code kakranti e na tie for the acheme.
Okay
The State of the Nation's address a very important exercise in national calendar. So it's an exercise a constitutional requirement in accordance with Article 73 of the Constitution. Say every year at the beginning of the sitting of Parliament, or my penibeko na or the State of the Nation's address. The State of the Nation's address, oko bebia nyagana kwani oko America, or the State of the Union address. It an addresser, a campaign promise. It's not a campaign platform. A addresser, what exactly are the circumstances of the country at that particular time? It's yearly, every year.
Yeah,
and yet. Event kase once intino what they betray there be within that period since the president delivered the last State of the Nation's address a dien fufro NAC is sanya be na aba a dien na abeka ho na all deliver your last State of the Nation's address na o mine to say it is saying before this is the current State of the Nation's address. After the last State of the Nation's address, these are the things that have happened in this country. Ghana has defaulted on all its debt, both domestic and external, since the last State of the Nation's address. Since the last State of the Nation's address,
Ghana has defaulted
on all its debt. Since the last State of the Nation's address. Not just say before Mampenye Kufado ever State of the Nation's address in 2022, Ghana had not defaulted on its debt. Between that time, in the span of 1 year, we have defaulted on all our debt, domestic, external, both bilateral, multilateral, both concessionary and non-concessionary loans, including cocoa loans. Ghana has defaulted. Since the last State of the Nation's address, Ghana has defaulted on its payment to the independent power producers, the IPPs. The IPP.
Now touch on it again.
Since the last State of the Nation's address, Ghana has defaulted on its payments to the independent power producers to the tune of almost $3 billion.
Ghana has defaulted
its payment to the independent power producers to the tune of almost $3 billion since the last State of the Nation's address. Since the last State of the Nation's address, our currency has depreciated by at least 45%. Since the last State of the Nation's address. Since the last State of the Nation's address, Ghana has opened talks with the IMF. Officially. Since the last State of the Nation's address, Ghana has begun talks with China for debt forgiveness since the last State of the Nation's address. I'm giving you the true state of the nation. Since the last State of the Nation, Ghana has begun talks with China for debt forgiveness. Since the last State of the Nation's address, we are just about the economy. Education, education, let's talk about bread and butter issues.
Yeah.
Since the last State of the Nation's address, at the time the president was delivering the last State of the Nation's address, inflation was 18%. Today, inflation is over 50% since the last State of the Nation's address.
Now it's 56, right?
Yes, now it's over 50%. Since the last State of the Nation's address. So, looking at this, I am afraid what the state of Ghana will be the next time the president gives the State of the Nation address. I'm afraid.
That is in 2024.
In 2024, when he gives his last State of the Nation's address. I'm afraid. All these things have happened within 1 year. These are within 1 year from his last State of the Nation's address to the current one. These are the things that have happened. These are the things that has happened on the economic front alone. Let's leave the other issues out. When you look at this, you should be scared what the State of the Nation will be the next year when the president goes back to Parliament to give his last State of the Nation's address. In all this, anybody would have thought, say, President Akufo-Addo, any person in his normal, say, any normal human being would absolutely exhibit some form of sensitivity or remorse. Whatever the president is drinking or smoking, they should give us recommendations.
Why?
Because we also want to get high.
High like how?
We also want to get high.
High like how?
This.
I also Kenyan sasem. No. Sebia odi nutritious food. Edi Accra FM. Ana ebia fiber wom. Ya woje ya beetroot kra now the apple now blend ya. Ya no so onum. Say ya no de me say anopai me blend me de enmanom.
Kabna
Eja.
Adie bi omode ma the president. Say yem panie. Some the friend nsuo. Some the friend aduane. Adie bi omode ma omampanyi ma ne nom. Edi ko gina parliament ke kasa no ma omoma yebi. We also want to feel that high. We want to feel out of the world. Yes. Unless you are so high. Unless unless you are so intoxicated. I don't see how anybody in their right sense, in the midst of the current predicament of this country, can behave like the way President Akufo-Addo behaved today. I don't think so. And I pity those who had the time to listen. I tune in, within 5 minutes, I shut it off. Because one way your BP can set in. I shut it off. So later, I had to go through the written scripts.
Yeah.
And it was just bizarre. And I want to tell your mommy Elizabeth Ohene, because she has been writing this speech for the president.
Really?
She read the president's speeches, Elizabeth Ohene. Yes.
Oh,
and I'm telling you, mommy Elizabeth Ohene. Oh, come now.
Wow. Hallelujah. No, Minia. Also, the Biam Cassa, Nana, Nana madam Fumini no. Aha. Tomina watch me. Elizabeth, why did I say that? No.
On the treacherous and some women who fall back at Ghana. That woman.
I see.
And I'm telling her.
I see.
Maybe whatever the president is smoking is also smoking some.
Problem in here. I know. I know. I know. Again, Mamma Noir. Mamma Noir. Aha! I've heard the only problem, no. Because you know why, Tommy? Yeah, so who read the idea, Elizabeth, or he never a better than us or more dama. Who know about them now and tell that?
Come now, how? How did we get here? Because in the midst of the crisis, as the speechwriter of the president, as a handler of the president, you have to reflect the reality of the people. Sorry, I'm not trying to say my president. No, I be Ghana for the no catch it. No. So say I don't know what it is. Because you see, apart from put the speech aside, look at the body language of the president. He doesn't see that sense of remorse, empathy, pain, suffering the people of this country is going through. And that's what I'm saying. So whatever they are giving him, Kwabena, because you see our problems, Kwabena, we wish we can forget our problems like that and be in our own world and hallucinate. Because that's how bad the situation is. Kwabena, since the last State of the Nation's address, senior citizens of this country, retirees, have had to go to the Ministry of Finance for 3 continuous weeks just to protest. Not for an increment in their pension, not for any assistance from the government, not from any support from anybody, but for their own money, their own sweat and blood. Since the last State of the Nation's address,
when you said everything is okay,
since the last State of the Nation's address, our entire financial sector, securities and asset class have gone bankrupt. Since the last State of the Nation's address, government have had to borrow from the central bank extensively to be able to meet its contingent obligations. Even just January, February, Bank of Ghana has printed money for them.
Oh, how?
Because they can pay salaries. Bank of Ghana has to print money for them to pay January and February salaries.
And that is risky, eh?
Do you know what that is doing to our currency? Do you know what that is doing to inflation? Do you know what that is doing to external reserve position? Do you know what that is doing to the structure of the economy? That you've gotten to the point where, because we came from 2016, where we're doing zero central bank financing. Zero central bank financing in an election year. Zero. Meaning what? From now, in 2016, Bank of Ghana printing one cedi in Farmer buying.
John
Maham are buying not so NDC are buying. Bank of Ghana printing one cedi in po. And Farmer no say J. A talk a economy no and one of the GGDC Terminal 3 University of Ghana Medical Center one ni a tour na. A kufo da jeje tour abobosia. They say Bank of Ghana am print sika mo a ohuntimi ntua ketua.
Sika do e wan yefa.
Kwabena. Say yes sika no. Say international eyes about him. So you see, I'm to first scanning to coin view. To me, scanning to Japadia. Then you're dying. No, they're Bobby on better.
Me told me shoe.
And you're dying. Eh? A Bobby on better.
And then I'm going to die $6 million, $10 million.
And you're moto. She say, and can I be able to be a sit down, baby? They are building anyhow because that's the only way they can keep those monies. If you prefer to be a obefa a dance or they watching obebani sit down ho. Ufa baby now jai for 3 weeks ube kone dance coin so. Because they can't take the money abroad again. Because they say since we started those negotiations with the IMF, the international eyes, since we declared a debt default, the international eyes are on us. Now that is our situation. That is our situation. And in the midst of this, you still find a president come to you, not anywhere but the president of parliament, to look the people, including diplomatic corps, members of the diplomatic corps, in the eyes and say, everything is all right. Everything is all right? Really? Everything is all right? Maybe everything is all right for him at the Jubilee House. Maybe everything is all right for people like Elizabeth Ohene and his cohorts who are writing these useless speeches for him to come and tell us. But things are not definitely all right with we the citizens.
Accra FM.
And anybody who cannot appreciate the plight and the suffering of his people has no business being in our Jubilee House, being our leader. How much does it cost, Kwabena, to show empathy? Because Kwabena, you see, when I saw President John Mahama today in Parliament House, it made me a bit hopeful, because I was thinking, say, maybe some conversations have gone on behind the scenes, and that maybe President Akufo-Addo was going to use this as an opportunity to unite the country, especially because we are in a crisis. So you need all hands on deck. So I thought he was going to extend an olive branch.
Yeah.
And I thought the speech was going to be more nationalistic, more purposeful on what we intend to do to come out of this crisis and how we can get everybody on board. I was very, very hopeful when I saw, say, former President Kufuor, former President Mahama so Ewohobi. Kwabena, what President Kufuor missed today was a fine opportunity. What President Kufuor missed today was a fine opportunity to unite the hands of this country.
But I think he mentioned it. He mentioned it.
Kwabena, you see, it's not about mentioning it. The speech was full of rhetorics, empty aspersions, insinuations, innuendos, needless rhetorics. And Obeke Kachire Ghana for. So you have practically, told everybody, say all is well. You know the funny thing, Kwabena?
Tell me.
Samuel Aminoka say the Chinese delegation just left Ghana yesterday. The Paris Club, Germany, France, and their counterparts are who call say external debt restructuring. No? Their ambassadors are sitting there. Once the ambassadors are there, they send direct diplomatic cables to their countries. So that picture of me right now, it is in Europe, it's everywhere. They've sent it to their country. The moment you Chelsea, debt restructuring, You are begging people. Kwabena, you are begging people, say, you are in a crisis. And the Paris Club have told you, say, okay, go and negotiate with China. If you get China, who is your single holder of bilateral debt, Amaya do Mokanyina, China and do Mokakesi. So China, no some kind of debt reliever. Then we can talk to our creditors, because European creditors no. And when this is Ghana ha, or may pick it no. No. As we speak, the European creditors have put themselves together in a class of bondholders, and they've hired a top law firm from the UK to be their leader. They've hired a top law firm from the UK to be their leader. Ahead of the external debt restructuring here, so all is well.
We know now you agro
domestic one. Oh, domestic one they say agro no moody. The external debt restructuring. Woman no makachira will say the farthest they can go is to forfeit their interest. Say, okay, they won't be interested.
But the principal,
they will never allow you to touch their principal.
They
will never ever allow you to touch their principal. Until all the negotiation is going to be around the interest, though. And until why they cry, they say, one negotiating the interest to zero. And zero, no, they won't get zero. Maybe they'll take a shave on the interest. Maybe they can agree to take a significant shave on the interest. But the principal no pa the other budget. So they've hired a top UK firm to be their lawyer. We are nearing the Argentina situation. Kakra. We are nearing the Argentina situation. Because they say, what happened is say one to me and no man reach agreement. No more a file a arbitration. And they win a judgment. They are coming after your assets straight ahead.
Really?
Yes. That is where we are going. You see, sometimes ayana nkofo e be this near kasan na mpanyin friends say, oh, we shouldn't spell doom. This country is gone, no. And you see, because things are moving, people are going about their business. People don't see the danger. It's just going to take one day. No. Because it is very likely the government is going to miss the April deadline. The IMF board meeting in April. This government cannot meet it. It's impossible. Because what sign is staff level agreement, no? All conditions. Conditions on the mouth, no. One of them is a debt restructuring. Why a domestic one? Like an external one. And kwabna kind of reta a very dangerous economy. Sir, under kind of reta, for the first time, a huge chunk of our debt is in private hands. So Ghana is owned by individuals. Abuchiri. One say kofo baye or they omani call HIPIC. Or they call HIPIC.
Yeah.
And a HIPIC no yenya debt forgiveness. That debt forgiveness and HIPIC was possible because we were not owing individuals. We were owing countries. Near Bobu free countries or European countries, Japan, Germany, China, Najisika Kakrao. Only countries a different government to government. What you say? The countries, because the countries are also members of IMF, the IMF can step in. What I said right now, the IMF through the G20 is trying to help us say if the G20 fund by my BB Kaka. What you say? It's the same thing. Say, also China. They say Yakoy any China for a negotiating. China bit my baby Kaka. But the private debt now a year will be individual sikano. One penny that. One penny kwabna. okura nka won pene come and can fret the AS at the come na okay 2.5 billion your friend saying South Frank Templeton bond no
yeah
you can take of fret say it is dangerous to concentrate our public debt in the hands of individuals. You can take of yata. We told him.
But probably they have connived with those individuals.
Yes, come and say when a business a big business. Say Frank Templeton, no you more dear no. Or yeah, sir, you know, sir crude, you know, your friend is saying Wall Street boys nibi. What you say? Woman the corporate takeover, debt buying. What you say? Sure. Sir, external credit see. Say assuming say omo nyo musika no omo yetimi ni omo a reach agreement bi na say ni ya Ghana enye sika ma omo a wo make us omo koton omo bond no on the secondary market, right? Frank Templeton can go and buy, and I say can for that mo betwe kokuru sika de ama Frank Templeton je koto omo bond no mo ankasa afetire abesizi yan ejapade
omo na da no ma ba wi ai
Njebe say yes guy
guys but now your money say say sika no ma wi and they need to find a way to get the money back into the system
and wash it. And already no more pro minor any amafa.
You see, Japadi, Omana Japadi, Oma targeted Japadi no be. And to come that is where we are getting now. Some of our assets are going to be, especially embassy buildings, your asset, your Ghana International Bank in the UK.
Do you said that say oh your default will be a court to a winning arbitration will winning and
abanye sika ni ntua
so Ghana embassy building no offer and also a closer to a number 10 down
the street
enti hona akufa adum person na no mtena no mama nipa na ba baji later abekọ no mu na team
exactly
because you have
you see so we are nearing the Argentina situation sikano. The system is off. In Tinkasamre Yankawo Parliament, what mania all ambassadors, most of the ambassadors were sitting there. This is the timer. You make a very passionate appeal to the ambassadors and you tell them, say, this is the situation. We already opened talks already. But we are trying to bring everybody together. Because the diplomats are more comfortable, the missions are more comfortable if it is more bilateral, if it is, you know, your friend is saying, you know, the conversations are all multi-party. What you see, all hands on deck. Obi can be because to be more mine forever. Yeah, the party of a so also any opportunity. So you have to bring everybody on board. But what happened today, was a joke. Was mere theatrics. For me, I thought KSM can one of the
satire,
the comedies. That kind of comedy does not belong to Parliament.
I'll come back to you now. You're buying to a specifics no.
You TV for PENDREAM TV. Pacho sama Asapa boss Mr. Thompson or the two jano na pese be kasa kakra fa ho. Na enra no State of the Nation address Akufo-Addo ebe ma no. Wow, hwe na wo hwe din what most of papa no na dey agro. Seriously, because Oshe in summer Mr. Thompson can net say Abrofone at top one no do na ambassadors to other countries I did kane individuals I diom kawa brotri no mas more reps some bra no beti they are the president of Ghana kafa problems are your as o mining ho na Akufo-Addo to liko na ho wankashi no nam no kasa about COVID COVID my economy not in the name of Jesus Christ. We are in 2023. COVID by 2020. 3 years on. 2023. Akufo-Addo gusu the problems no. Share COVID ni nema. Who does that? I mean, who does that? So we cannot move on as a country. COVID ni ba no. Echichire yen sache yechi and COVID-19 and me anya bibia so mine. What kind of joke is that? What kind of joke is that? There's a crew I team yen pay inform we yen fire nyeshi. Crew I team yen pay inform we yen fire nyeshi so mine. What kind of people are we? Hmm? Na wohwɛ nsɛm a Mr. Thompson ka na kyerɛ sɛ yɛ japadeɛ na yɛde akɔsi ahowa na yɛde akɔgye loan no. Chinafoɔ no Akufo-Addo kɔ kasaeɛ no Chinafoɔ no si ɔmo nte aseɛ. Ɔmo nso ɔmo principal kyerɛ sɛ sika na ɔmo de bɔ abusua no deɛ gye a na ɔmo gye. Na deɛ ɔmo betumi de akyɛ yɛ interest a ɛwɔ busua no so. Nti sɛ yɛkɔgye 5 billion a ɔmo si 5 billion na ɔmo de maa yɛn deɛ ɔmo gye. Yɛwɔ sika o yɛni sika o saa sika no ɔmo gye. Deɛ ɔmo nyi any interest a ɛda saa sika no so a multiply within the years no. Na adeɛ a munim fa Chinafoɔ ho sɛ mene wo ka sɛ wokɔ Zambia na wokɔ Gambia some parts of Africa Zimbabwe wobɛkɔ no na Chinafoɔ no wokɔ kuro no mu a ɔmo ate ɔmo police station. Yes, ɔmo ate ɔmo police station. Wodu Zambia ne but Zimbabwe wɔ hɔ Chinafoɔ no ate ɔmo police station sɛ China ni bi gyimi wɔ kuro no mu a wontumi nkye no. Ɔmo a na ɔmo bɛti ɔmo nkurɔfoɔ, ɔmo a na ɔmo bɛ prosecute ɔmo nkurɔfoɔ. Ɛba ne sɛn because saa nkurɔfoɔ yi kɔgyegye loan no bi na ɔmo antumi antua. Nti China ni no ɔno deɛ ɔpɛ na ɔyɛ ɔno no ɔne wo sign contract a ɔde clauses bi hyɛ mu a ɔnim sɛ Africa leader deɛ wabɛgye loan na ɔkɔdi. Nti ɔde clauses bi hyɛ mu sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a wantumi antua a wohu na ɛbɛkyerɛ wo. Nti wokɔhwɛ deɛ ɔmo de yɛ Zambia ne other countries na Zambia say mene wo ka sɛ yɛsɛ ɔmo airport kɛseɛ pɛ ɛwɔ hɔ no Chinafoɔ no agye. Yes, because ɔmo de kɔsi ahowa loan na yɛde maa ɔmo no so panyin bi agye di. Wɔntumi antua sika no. Nti sɛ ɛyɛ ɔmo japadeɛ na ɛwɔ so ɛyɛ ɔmo dia no. Sɛ Chinafoɔ de ɔmo nsa ato so ɔmo na ɔmo de yɛ business ɛde nya sika. Nti sika airport no generate nyinaa no ɛwɔ Chinafoɔ no hɔ. Na saa yɛbɛtena ase yɛhwɛ ayɛ nhwɛhan atwa Akufo-Addo mɔde akɔto saa situation wei mu. Because level a yɛdu no sɛ yɛntumi antua Ay3ka na and the only option will be say China or the nsa betu adekodi a Akufo-Addo de kɔgye loan no. Na meti sɛ saa loan no kra no ɔmo kɔgye no agreement no ni sɛ yɛde yɛ bauxite. Ɔmo sɛ bauxite field bi na ɛyɛ Ibrahim Mama na otu na ɔmo gye free ne nsɛm na saa field no ɔmo de kɔma ɔno na ɔmo de kɔsi ahowa. Nti yantumi antua a saa bauxite no nyinaa Chinafoɔ ba betu de free de akɔ. Menim other things ɔmo san de si ahowa de kɔgye saa sika no. Yɛte Ghana ha education get fund yɛ fund bi a wokɔtɔ adeɛ a yɛte wo kakra na de ato get fund na ɔmo de sisi school adan ne nneɛma de ma yɛn nkwalaa kɔ school. Ɛnɛ get fund sika demu kra no Akufo-Addo de akɔgye busua ahead of time. So the or even sky nyan to get fund account in the next 5-10 years no kra no de agye busua. Nti ene unse nkwala da aduase amunya school diamond na ene nkwala nya dormitories ntina ene get fund in fasika enko schools mu ma yem fan to aduane mu nkwala no because get fund account no de akɔgye awowa ene de agye sika na mpanyimfo bi atransca ne so. Na last no okoma state of the nation address no honorable atofo sika asem bi na say Ghana for no yem fire agency so yet time bomb super Ghana yet time bomb so because honorable atofo say last year nko amu traska over 50 billion Ghana cedis. Over 50 billion Ghana cedis nko na mo try adent na mo try because loans no mo kɔgye buy no yɛntumi ntua loans no ɛna sika no nso yɛdi yɛde dodo na atwa yɛnum sɛ 100% na ɛgye ya yɛde bɛ 30% pɛ na ɛyɛ adwuma 70 no mo de atwa mo anum ɛna nneɛma ɛsan de sisi yɛ no kra ɛsan generate sika makro no. Nti yɛayɛ bankrupt na nkrɔfoɔ no nso sika na time edu sɛ nkrɔfoɔ no bɛtua sika no sɛ ade Akufo-Addo yɛ ne sɛ ɔtwa sika ɔtwa Ghana cedis na ɛbɛdu Ghana ha na or the friend is or the Ghana cedis no was into dollars. Not their court service in the canon. Yes. Omo twa Ghana cedis ni ba under the last now you can Kevin Taylor can say omo twa scan the share container mo bebre no mo dia ba no no kwa na waka Ay3ka kan Honorable Ahmed minority chief whip ono so can the same thing. So omo twa scan container na be do Ghana ha na omo scan into dollars because omo to mean tua Ay3ka in Ghana cedis nti omo scan into dollars. I know that the pressure aba cedi ni so a dollar na dwane chance cedi because you talk omo discount to more dollars. Imagine say the 20 billion Ghana cedis aba na yes $1 ya nya kra o say nya be $2 billion and I say nya be $1.5 billion. Imagine $1.5 billion so ni dodo nti o say cedis yi nyina into dollars. I know that ma top more cedis than the most cedis no go top dollar no and ama pressure na aba cedis nso ama yesika na tete apansa ma ye basa no but ukokan omo na won see we have the men na ye economist akese na ye any ye ne say Ghana is totally bankrupt na ya mompaye you go see uti their honorable Thompson kan no asepa boss do kan no say omo ya di omo kan nyina aye baako and omo afa lawyers at trooper or UK say omo di Ghana ekogina court and UK so dey court wo ho a yenko video yenko court or UK eko wini na mo kai say energy suppliers na akufo ado etwa omo contract mu a omo di court or UK na e free case na yemba ago for damage transima you try damages $100 million no. Yes. UK wa na sa asem ni siye. Nti imagine say lawyers we ya edi omuka nyina na mu nyina fa lawyers omo de ekọ UK no. Me in the outcome am hu ani say ombeka say yembra na yembetua de ka no. Na say ka say tia ni ti yentumi ntua ka ni ti yemfa ejapade nsia wo a na yekọ ya na say ye bae. Asem sebe. Say kruba akọ etimu. Impanyinfo mu hu ba kuba say de omo dwan say enya ska kese ye sisi dan kese ye mfa ma kese kasa say omo ani da achen de enwen ho utie America for national anthem na our national anthem you played na mo ba wi mo say e was so mo ye adepa e ma say de be ya enchirima ambebu omfo nti wa obetu sa national anthem ni bia no e ma unya sense of urgency bi say ya anya adepa adachi enchirima e ba bebu yemfo say ya anya adepa but uba ye hanom a yesi moja na nananum hwegu ho ma ye say ye believe say ye nananum ahwe moja na egu dada nti say they say enjoy life and ye ne penyifo bibre hwe problems e wo Ghana na economy atete apansam amanfo twi radio stations ni omo presenters dan kweku ye bo amoni na say me hu say Facebook for ni YouTubers for no so de omo agimo omo kaka asem ketia John Mahama sa mo jimi John Mahama no opposition onu no wanya de enti na vote ti ano na obi tisuna ni pani jimi na ye kan o so John Mahama ni as gracious so we can say no na John Mahama no wan win power say de kan so be no so ntumi nye na power no so onya win nti no nya sabia ni mu say o tumi ko eko blast no what I say but the otiso na o say o man na atete apansam ono na also kan asem the otiso no ono na also kan asem amanfo sorry na me say amanfo say na ehia third force kwasi third force ben no ejimi for third force ben no back to school na onim nyansa you will know say in every developed democracy no there are two strong political parties. Even in America, baby, I'm one. Even in America, there is no third force. It's either Democrat or Republican. The Democrats for ba na so man be the microphone the no man to omo no the Republicans aba. America's democracy is more than 100 years. The Benin Jimmy Entino oya ade a na our group we na say nyama nko yi no bet na say strategize na your group ni yi no. Na wati ne won say me kwati me de. Who kwati wo de da be na obeyin. Omo modi 20-30 years crown one who beti wo de uko. E na de Jimmy Seme wo mu kra omo mo say o mati sa third force no. Mo Jimmy kra ne say sa nkrofo no omo ba na third force nso omo kan kire ya nipa a modi di omo anim ba se third force no why na modi ne ba mo kan kire why na modi ne ba mo kwasi aseto mo ti abrochiro na Jimmy enko na mo metra ga na mbe kusa na nipa isi wo Ghana ha aga wontra won kika mo kwasi asem na da bia mo sori na third force no why na modi ne ba why ni kwasi na modi ne ba as third force. Masa ade ni say NDC for ni MPP for Jimmy MPP Jimmy for NDC bra oba keka wa adwen kire no tine NDC for ye sure say mo be demonstrations no mo be kasa na aban na ye dia mo pe wantumi anya ono so ba wa yi na free ho Nigeria Peter Obi e na he Peter Obi onumpo na oti ni hu free PDP for mu no Obasanjo mu nyina akota na chi no I said yeah, it said yeah, Obi ati ni hu say Francis Kennedy Japan for ya of standing for president flag bearer or MPP mu na omo awia no na Kennedy Japan ati ni hu na kufo mu nyina ata na chi o insu still want me and win na o say kire o say political party no very strong na nya no na dey win power mami nya analysis bin kire mo omo ya won ye third force na ya na mu ni nyansa hwe NPP ni NDC there can never be a third force stronger chom this MPP for ni bia be half a movie akọ form a new political party and as NDC for be half a movie akọ form a new political party and I don't see that happening in the nearest future what I say because if I say party like NDC na say elections district assembly elections national elections every district in Ghana over 127 districts in Ghana NDC were executives of bia who tell the America no over 270 something constituencies in Ghana NDC ni MPP omo executives over bia uko constituency bia so a uko district bia so a district no so constituencies e wo mo no emfa say constituencies no cry e bia 270 every constituency bia so NDC any cry NDC wo executives in point was constituency no executives e wo mo nko aye be 500,000 executives in one constituency because every area bia on the leaders and assembly members in them omo nyina e ka yemfa say obia of 500 mpo a every district 500 times 250 that's a lot of people. So even people who are holding positions in NDC and MPP omo supporters those who are just holding positions in NDC and MPP keke no omo NDC nkwa omo hold positions on NDC mo no omo bro 1 million MPP so bro 1 million nti ye beto aba say na san crofo we no mo no say 1 million there is no way mbe vote tia NDC and MPP omo executives nti omo no vote no e come omo party na because the party of power no be didi what I say nti sa nipa na ono no wa NDC no ye be start election no kra NDC ni MPP no mo 1 million vote e constant ansakra na yaba omo nya executives omo ye normal card bearing members of party omo ye card bearing members e wo NDC mo omo ni executive position kra no ombedu be 1 million and 2 million you find so omo ye 1 million pe be kan executives na ye 1 million no 2 million votes MPP who 2 million votes before election be starting no NDC were 2 million votes MPP who 2 million votes What I say? In this electoral book na da ho no. Register no, electoral register no. Say nipa wo mu ni 9 million na. NDC ni MPP o executives no registered members in afa 4 million. And we card bearing members who and executives. I feel I got 5 million. 5 million na aka no. Ya wo mo a omo do NDC ni MPP a. Omo kita card. But omo nam street ni so omo ya argument omo NDC was microphone by 1 million. MPP was microphone by 1 million. Ya di be kan omo sika omo de omo wo ho no a better than 6 million. I had 3 million, 3 million. Internet is a register no I got 3 million. I got 3 million votes o. So 3 million no. Obi wo ho a ono no ni NDC tan ni MPP o but Akufo-Addo buy na edumegu ntoni na busuafo nkwan no mutan Akufo-Addo. Obi wo ho a ono banking sector oni political party but Akufo-Addo be collapse banking sector no wa collapse na adwuma. Obi wo ye import and export dollar na adwane ni nti na adwuma sei ono Akufo-Addo ho tribuka o MPP ho tribuka. Sa nkrofo we nyina ye gada omo be 1 million. Eno so di free 3 million ma fi da be ka 2 million votes. I feel the 2 million no out of that 9 million no eno na ye floating voters. Eno na afi de obia e ba beche. Nti yanya vote ye kra no party no wo power no ono of 3 million votes. The opposition no 4 million votes. Aka 2 million votes e ba beche. Eno no na the wo power no o look smart no we bi kan one bet na 2 million ni na aba ne side. No we nya 5 million. Na the opposition na be nya 4 million. And I say opposition ye wada na pai. A pai a no we nya be 5.5. Now we so now we want to I can say oh my gabi no. Manya be 56 and now 54% of the total vote. Inti the ambassador me kire mu nyina ne say third force no enye adwuma. Inti ma stop say mo waste mu faith. Don't stop wasting your faith. Mo be third force mu musika ya. De bia na third force third mu musika ya. Pakwesindum Dr. Pakwesindum. Banks are in only Ghana. Adwuma be Coconut Grove Regency Hotels. Unim Japadia Pakwesindum wo as at 2012. Unim campaign oye. Or more than 100 pickups. Saloon cars bebre akrabiasi. Unim campaign oye. But still they couldn't even get 3% of the total vote. Now then ubeka say bese samibi. Muma mo adwin embrefi na muti abrotira mo njan kwase asem no dia makwa abrotira ko hu na eyefe no mu kasa ntre ye mpanyimfo no na omo tu omo fu no omo beye bibi mfa mbo akro no what I say dia makwa hu no mo ni mpanyimfo mbra close to mpanyimfo no mo mfa nyansa nto omo tirim so omo anyo omo hu se omo bia ntie mu ana bibia mo mfa mo hu be she politics mo NPP na obekọ akọ NDC na obeba ba na fa wo hu hyem so that be ya ubetumi di wadwin na wo na wakonya wa brotu we kasa ma manfo ate wonka member dani ho sam jimifo bi na obetena brotu na they were there for na NDC MPP nyina ubo ma MPP you are disappointed. If you are disappointed, switch, come to the NDC, speak your mind, talk to the leaders. When they don't listen to you, you can switch back to the NPP. Speak out. Say the truth to leadership. The third force is a fiasco. It's a fallacy. It will never see the light of day. Mfamu Jimmy ni free onko na mbe takro na chine masa. Yes, President John Mahama oye no ebi nye na ya tu na atu. Now the panel on no promise here so ya papa after mama no ba yen hu hwe kwasi asem kwa do odi. Nyema nko yi. Say truth to power. Can you create the panel say who Jimmy say we dey compare mama na ya tu no twini na mama ya ade chen nti the only option is say ya kofa mama ba. Na mo we third force the one I got third force Alan Cash onam hoy ono ye trade minister for the past 6 years unemployment I increase say chum so mama time unemployment ye one at say unemployment rate na be 6%. Say mama time na 1% and 6%. times by 5. Then not me far industries are not me create here. Yes, all I want to free one district, one factory. Obi any company now, no was see you now. We welcome 100,000 Ghana cedis say fashion. And I say Casapreko no person your site where be now muko dia info na nim na onya site bi de na dia. Utumi ka jem say Casapreko one district, one factory. Na ya see Casapreko kra na mumu MPs ni bi kra mumu ministers ni bi kra na bi wo TSS ni primary. Ya see Casapreko ne. And I will be catching the one of the Casapreki, one district, one factory. Massa, young Shanians are crew you. Got an abroad, would you some winning Yansa Chobia, Quasi Assembly? I say for your mammy Cassan, I mean, yes, I have a PENDREAM TV in Pacho. And our first time I subscribe to channel of our about woman to say the bear. The video be a tour over to me, what me, I shall my Edama sister, the be a more support here. Bibia babi ma mbesati yanka bi da wasipi na menhira munya
Mame fana say ma PENDREAM TV de ose dem yopo